Hey guys, it's Mike Monty, one half of Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast. And we want to reach out to all the fans out there who have supported our show to say thank you. Thank you for making 2021 one of our best years. And one of our best years was because of Anchor. Anchor, the way that you can have your voice heard. You can be just like us. Record your own podcast. Use the Anchor tools to edit your podcast. Use it on a phone. Use it on your computer. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And best of all with Anchor, they're totally free. So be just like Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monty and the Pharaoh. We're looking together for a great 2022. We've got huge guests coming on board. Oh, yeah. You probably wonder why Jimmy's not here right now. Well, he's prepping for one of the best interviews we're about to have, and we're going to surprise someone with. So hang aboard with us, and don't forget, be like us and use Anchor.
What? Yeah. No, I'm behaving myself. No, I'm not playing in abandoned buildings. What? Again? Now, I suppose you had those people follow me again. Fine. Hey, this is Jimmy Farrow from Monty and the Pharaoh, and I want to thank all our subscribers. We have now passed 14,000 on our YouTube channel. But I want to ask our subscribers to take the next step for us and become a full-fledged member of Monty and the Pharaoh. Yeah, that's right, folks. There's 3 different levels to choose from. There's free shirts. There's free autographs. Just check it out and become a member of Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monty and the Pharaoh. Later.
All right, you're watching Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast. Next to me isn't the Pharaoh. This is the great Sunny Beach. But we're excited to announce the great band Wisteria Hall, along with
Hall of Famer, WWF Hall of Famer, KOKO WARE.
Sometimes love is like a slow dance. You can tiptoe around, but don't make a sound. You can make a little solid romance. Sometimes love sounds like a fight. It sounds like an argument. It sounds just like a pile driver. Yeah, yeah, a pile driver. Sometimes love, what you feel like, it just feels fake. That's right. First you think you're so strong, but something goes wrong. It feels like a great big mistake. Sometimes love feels just right. It feels so real. It feels just like a pile driver. Yeah, yeah, a pile driver. Sometimes love, you're right beside her.
Thank you.
You want to star in your own success? Call QuickCast. www.quickcast.com. 866-7-CAST-NOW. That's 866-7-CAST-NOW. QuickCast.
Start your own success. The Monty and the Pharaoh Show is brought to you by...
Because wine is your second favorite four-letter word. California wine, New York attitude. Good fucking wine.
Yeah.
Welcome to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monty and the Pharaoh, only seen here out of Indie Music TV in the Monty and the Pharaoh Marathon. Minus one Jesse Ventura. Super producer Jeff, how are you?
Hey, Jeff.
You're doing a great job, and by the way, incredible job with the great guest.
Jeff, I love the backdrop.
With Wisteria Hall.
Thank you.
Great job. Before we get to the star that we have in, the great KOKO Beware.
HOF.
HBO, the Way Down follow-up explores. Now, we had spoken a couple of months back about the Way Down, about a church that believed that if you were overweight, that you couldn't serve God in the proper way.
Okay.
And it became a very popular church.
If you're overweight, you can't serve God.
Correct.
Okay, go on.
Gwen Chamberlain, who was the leader of that church, right? That was her belief.
Okay.
And they had a ton of followers. And we'll get to KOKO on
ton
this.
of followers. If you're overweight, you can't serve God.
It's a huge church.
A ton of followers.
Well, anyway, last year her plane crashed along with her husband. And they passed away.
Was the plane weighted down?
Okay, we'll keep going. They passed away last May. So, some people consider her a prophet. Some people considered her crazy. Some people actually thought she was a devil. Some people in the show thought it was God's intervention of her evil ways.
No.
Well, hold on. Let me get to the question.
Please.
Okay, you're drinking too much already.
Oh, obviously, but
See,
it takes
Jeff,
two to
here
tango.
we go.
Go ahead.
Do you believe in God's intervention?
I don't believe that God would intentionally crash their plane, if that's what you're asking me.
So what I asked you. I asked you, do you believe in God's intervention?
Yes, I do. But it depends on the circumstances and the act of intervention. Go ahead.
I'm not sure what that even means.
Well, it depends on the circumstances and how God allegedly intervenes.
You believe
when
in
Hitler was taken down by the Allies, it was God's intervention. That's how I see that. Now, as far as this goes...
So why wouldn't this be God's intervention?
Perhaps it was, but I think it's murky waters, and I don't want to touch it.
So with Hitler...
Hitler intoxicated answer.
Okay, that is an intoxicated answer.
Yes, but it's honest.
But you know what? I'm going to go to
honest,
KOKO.
right,
But
KOKO?
first,
It's honest.
I first want to say, well, I'd like to thank the band that sings the theme song for Monty the Pharaoh, who sang the wonderful song Pile Driver along with Hall of Famer KOKO Beware. Yes, catch Wisteria Hall songs such as In My Dreams This Life, Not Far Behind, Here Comes the Rain. You can find their music on the Wisteria Hall YouTube page. Please hit like and subscribe. Spotify, Apple Music, and Reverb Nation. If you didn't know it, you are watching Long Island's #1 pro wrestler broadcast, Monty the Pharaoh. Catch us on the Monty the Pharaoh YouTube page, the Monty the Pharaoh Facebook Live page. Hear us on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Anchor. See us on the Twitch TV, Monty the Pharaoh page. And if you're lucky enough to live in New York, catch us on channel 115 every Tuesday at 9:30 and Saturday at 11:30 p.m. And catch us on channel 20 Tuesday at 1 a.m. So here we go. We have the great KOKO Beware, sir. Thank you for coming in.
You're welcome.
So, my friend, I will ask you this. Do you believe in God's intervention?
Sure I do.
How about a time in your life that you can give us an example?
Well, just when I was really just down out of it one time, God helped me to get back on the right track. And when I was just completely just thought that no one loved me and everything I was going through, a hard time and stuff. And just God, sometimes he can show you if you want some help, he can show you the way.
Was God always in your world, or did he come later? How about during the days of
God
WWE?
he came later.
Okay.
And stuff like that. Yes, I was part of the devil and stuff like that, and I did some bad things in my life that I'm not proud of, and we all have. But the way you can turn this around, you gotta believe there's a Savior out there can help you. And when you go to your best friend or whatever, they can only do so much. They only can pray for you, but God can heal you. So that's what happened to me. And when I was just completely, when I left WWE, I didn't even know where I was gonna be at. Didn't know nothing about my life anymore, because I've been so used to the wrestling business. And man, I just completely just was doing just drinking and stuff like that, smoking or whatever. And one night rather, I went home. My wife and kids was gone, and the lights was off. In fact, the power was off in the house, and I'm just fumbling through the house and just kind of just just trying to find the bathroom and all that stuff. And I finally found the bathroom, and when I looked, went over and washed my hands and stuff, and I looked over on the dresser, on the sink there. There was a flower. The flower was leaned over, and God just gave me this message and said, "KOKO, put some water on that flower." And I put some water on that flower. And that flower, I looked at flower, it was down just like I was. I was down on my luck. The flower was down on its luck. And I put the water in the flower, and I went back in my room, and I started praying to God, take this disease away from me. Take it away. And the next morning when I woke up, I felt just a big release in my life. Then I walked back into the bathroom, and don't you know that flower was standing straight up. You know, you can't tell me there's not a God out there that can help, can heal us when we really, really need him. And I've been running for the God ever since. And I play in the church now. I'm in a male chorus. I play lead guitar at New Shelby Baptist Church in Collierville, Tennessee. And I'm just a motivator for God now to all our entertainers, people out there, the wrestlers, not just the wrestling business, but everybody, if the entertainers or if they're not entertainers, just people in general. I'm your role model, and I'm your role model, and I'm your motivator. That I want to talk to you. If you can't get back on the right track, yes, you can. You can get back on the right track if you believe in God. Because I'm telling you, my ship was sinking. I'm talking about sinking. And that's the reason why people say, "KOKO, you don't even look the same, man. You look good. You look great." I said, it ain't. KOKO done died. And God has taken over.
Do you feel it ironic that, the 80s Conference this weekend out in New Jersey, there's going to be a ton of people there, and you're still beloved after all these years. Do you feel it ironic that during your time in WWF, as you refer to, this is before your revelations, that the love that the fans have for you during your dark times? Now that you've, had a revelation from God. The dark times have led to so much love. The fans still absolutely love you.
Well, the fans don't know.
Okay.
They don't know. Like I don't know what they've been through. But it's some fans out there has been in my situation. And I done been in their situation. And they can tell you about the love of God big time. I mean, this is not a joke. I'm not playing with
Absolutely.
God. This is not a joke.
Absolutely.
That I'm going to sit here and say this and say that about God if I don't really mean it.
Did that experience definitively lead you to church? I mean, did that bring you to church?
Well, I was already raised in the church. I just backslid.
Okay.
From a kid. My parents and all that, we went to church and all that stuff. But, when you got grown, you go to church when you want to. And then you could do whatever you want to when you're grown. When you're out on your own. So that's the reason why that I took that step. But you know what? But I'm so glad that God got a hold of me in the right time. And I tell everybody, get God if you want to make it in life. And I know it's going to be hard. If you don't think that you can pray, you pray hard enough and really want some help. You watch and see God would bless you. He's a miracle worker. He will bless you big time. I even thought about my financial, coming up, with the other wrestling business and stuff. I'm not going to call any name because God don't want me to call any names. But you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna still make it. I'm not gonna beg God for I beg man.
It's interesting you bring that up. I caught you on Hannibal a couple of months ago. I don't know if you remember that interview, right?
Right.
But the one thing that came across, you look like, again, a lot of times with these shows, they want this dirt all the time, or this wrestling dirt, or for you to say something bad about people. And
That's
I noticed
the devil.
right.
That's the mark of the devil. They want you to say something, and just keep some more stuff stirred up. More you stir it, worse it stinks.
Right.
But yet you're on those podcasts. Do you feel a conflict?
But I feel okay with the.
Okay.
I feel okay, because you know what, I'm gonna say what I want to say.
Sure.
And then I'm not gonna hurt nobody's feeling.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because you seem very, very guarded, right? Your persona back when you were a wrestler, a very light-going type of person, but a few times I've met you, you seem like a very guarded personality. Would that be fair?
Yeah. I'm gonna be straight up with you.
Why?
Because I've been reborn through the blood of Christ. I don't have to.
Genuinely, I want to get to the crux of this. Genuinely reborn is a big difference from posturing. So this was the time this happened for you, or?
Well, when you got to go through.
That's some serious stuff, my friend.
You got to go through some stuff.
Okay.
To know what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
And see, that's what I'm talking about. You got to go. If you ain't never been through it, how can you tell somebody?
Right. Bingo.
So that's what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason why that I'm not gonna get out here and have a verbal back talk to this, what this person said and what that person said about me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna come back and throw stones.
Right.
I'm not going to do it.
Have you ever wondered why wrestling? Why did I go through this stage to get to where I'm at today? Why did the Lord present me pro wrestling?
But you know what? He give us ideals.
Mm-hmm.
He give what you to make up your mind what you want to be in life.
Right.
And that's what I wanted to be, was a professional wrestler. I felt in love with it. And I'm still in love with it.
Sure.
I don't have anything against WWE.
Sure.
I don't have anything against no wrestling organization. I just wanted to go out there And this dream came up in my mind as a kid that I want to make a whole lot of money where I could live in this big old house and have it paid for and everything. And then, you know what? I don't have to worry about nothing else and serve God like I want to.
Was that how it turned out?
It didn't turn out that way.
Okay. How did it turn out?
Well, it turned out I got the short end. The money wasn't right.
Okay.
And I'm not going to expose again. You see what I'm saying? I'm not going to talk about that because
Understood.
that's between WWE
Right.
or WCW, whatever, and me.
Right. Relationship
or
with
any
Vince.
wrestling.
Relationship with Vince currently.
Right.
What is your relationship with Vince currently? Just curious.
Good.
Good. Okay.
I'm gonna say it's good. And true about it, I'm not gonna say anything. Like I told you, the money part, it wasn't right. But I can't say since I've been born again and got a new life in my life, I can't hold it against Vince because he did what he wanted to do. And if I had been in them same shoes, maybe I would have did what I had to do.
Right.
So,
Right.
but
Right.
each and every day, it's on his mind how he treated us. Guilt is hurting him.
Vince McMahon, good person or bad?
Well, you know what? He was a good person.
Okay.
I mean, far as I know what I'm saying, and I'm not sitting here just to cover him up. I'm telling you, he was good. Me and him worked out together in the gym and all that stuff. He was good. I didn't really get to get close to Vince.
Okay.
Like, just got close to him. But when I did talk to him, we had some good conversations together. And we had some bad conversations with some that.
What was it like having an argument with Vince McMahon?
Well, you're not going to win.
Oh, well, that makes sense, right, Mike? Pretty much.
Depends, right?
Well, you're not. I mean, what I'm
Get
saying,
pretty heated, or
well, it don't. Not really heated. Just state your case.
right.
Vince want to state his case.
Would he hear you out?
Sometimes.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Fair
enough. KOKO, with the AEW coming along with the Owen Hart tournament, which kind of makes me ill because I feel Owen Hart is a WWE legend, so I'm not sure what AEW is doing. But tell me about High Energy with Owen. What memories do you have to share with Owen Hart for us?
Owen Hart was a great. He was the whole family. I want to say just go back. Let's go with the whole Hart family was great to me.
Owen better than Brett?
They was the same.
Okay.
They gave me the respect, and that's all I can ask for. Even with Stu Hart or whatever, his dad loved me. I wasn't that type of bully guy. I wasn't that guy that thought I was badass.
Your thoughts when Owen fell from the ceiling?
Well, I thought that was when I heard about it. I was hurt. I was hurt over it, and I said, "What happened? What happened? Something must have. They didn't do something right."
Vince deserved the blame for this incident.
Well,
I think the better question on that is, we were discussing this earlier. When Owen passed away, they continued on with the show.
Okay.
Do you think they should have stopped the show?
well, I think they should have.
Why?
Because there was something. If something happened to one of you all right now,
Okay.
you think this broadcast still going to go on the same night, knowing that your best friend just died, just fell out of the chair, and here it is, Ladies and gentlemen, we're still going on with the broadcast. Is that fair?
When you put it that way, it's a little fucked up.
Well, so
Yeah.
when you
you
look
put it
at
that way,
when you
yeah.
look at it, right? There's two ways. Vince cares about the fans and
Very
doesn't want
interesting.
them to be disappointed. There's not a
Right.
show.
The show must go
but
on.
he has to also
Okay.
care about the wrestler.
True.
Does that make Vince McMahon a bad person for carrying that
Yeah,
on, or what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'm just going to say, I just thought maybe.
Truth has it that, or at least legend has it, that Vince asked the locker room when it happened, do you want to carry on? Do you feel that Vince McMahon did
he
that?
asked him that?
That's what the story said. Do you?
So, I don't know.
Does Vince strike you as the kind of person who would ask the roster when it happened, do you want to go on?
Well,
Does that sound like Vince to you?
Well, you know what? That could sound like Vince.
Okay.
That
But does
could.
it sound like Vince from your experiences
You know
with
what?
Vince?
If he's the right kind of guy,
Okay.
I would have probably asked the talent.
Do you
everybody.
think he did? Because these are rumors. I can't confirm this, but do
Well,
you
see,
think?
the only thing, I can't confirm it either because I
Okay.
wasn't there.
What's your gut read? What's Coco's gut read? Did Vince add, do you think he did? Your gut read. I'm just asking for your gut read.
I really don't think. I don't know if he asked him or not. Be honest.
Fair enough. Fair
Coco,
enough.
fan Don the Barber's asking. By the way, the
Don
fans
the
love
Barber.
you.
What
Thank
up?
you for being on the show. They're
Yes.
really appreciated. Thank you for their Friday night.
Yes.
He's asking, Coco, how did the Steve Kern fight start?
Oh.
See there, guys? I'm not going to comment on that
Okay.
because it's like,
Too real?
well, throw about it. It's just dirty water under the bridge,
Okay.
and I want to move on.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? I want to move on because Steve Kern and we all have made up.
Right.
So I don't want to keep throwing a stone.
So you guys are cool. Everything's cool.
I'm cool with him. I mean,
Okay.
what I'm saying, I'm cool. And you know what?
How'd that convo go? I mean,
Well-
how did that go?
Well,
Like,
hey, true about it though, when you're a child of God and you run across your enemy and you talk to him about it, and you go to him and say, "Hey man, I don't know if you got the wrong idea or whatever, just because you and I have never had no beef or anything like that, But I want to say, as a man, I want to apologize. Whatever happened, I say you can hold this the rest of your life if you want to. I said against me. I said, but I'm not holding anything. It's in the trash can, and even with a lot more guys that I had a feud with, it's all that stuff is in the trash can. I'm not bringing up this dirt no more. If they bring it up, you ain't gonna hear from Coco.
Sure.
Now they can bring it up if they want to, but you're not gonna hear my end of the story because that's what the world wants. That's what the devil wants me to do.
sure.
Keep it going. Keep
Sure.
it stirred up.
Yeah.
It's over.
So, Coco, you're a Hall of Famer, well-deserved. You were one of the great entertainers in professional wrestling. But I'm sure you're aware, a lot of fans, they felt like before you should have been inducted, wrestlers like San Martino or Ivan Koloff should have gone in before you. You're human, right? You feel, you hurt, right? And those kind of comments, I imagine, could bother you. What's your feedback to the fans out there that say these type of things, maybe these pro wrestling experts?
That's the player haters. They're part of the devil's den. They even hate their own self. They hate their own self doing something nice. They even hate their own friends. They only hate their own relationship, kinfolks, their families. They hate for them to grow. That's why when people say something like that, They hate to see you guys grow. Nobody wants to see you two guys there grow.
Especially locally. Go on.
No,
He's right.
It's a good point.
He's right.
But I guess my
Were
bigger,
you surprised when you got into the Hall of Fame? I mean,
I was surprised because it took them 20 years to put me in there.
Did you think right away I should be in? How long were you thinking to yourself? When am I going to get the call?
I thought that when they started coming up with the Hall of Fame, that I should have been in the Hall of Fame.
Wow, in 1993, he's already thinking that.
well, honestly,
interesting.
It made sense to me, right?
Tell me why, please, Mr. Monty. Tell me why KOKO B. Ware is an obvious first ballot Hall of Famer. Tell me. Spell it out for the fucking people at home, please.
He was one of the great entertainers in the sport of wrestling.
Absolutely.
The first pro wrestling album, you had a highly popular song which started there.
All over. It was on MTV, for God's sakes.
You were the envisionment of the WWE. So understanding, as a wrestling purist, some people are, I'm not, I could understand that they thought Koloff should be in. They think San Martino be in.
Koloff and San Martino should be in.
One isn't inclusive with the other.
Right.
So KOKO B. Ware, let me put it this way. If I'm on the street and you're not a wrestling fan, and this is the KOKO B. Ware show, so it's not the Mike Monty, I'm going to quickly say this.
Sure. Especially during the
If you ask who Ivan Koloff is,
right.
I would say 4 people might know.
Right. Fair.
If I say KOKO B. Ware,
right.
I would say 9 out of 10
people especially during the
know
80s.
Who KOKO B. Ware
is. That is for shit sure.
And that's why I say, sir, you deserve it. And I've always felt like you deserve it.
Is KOKO the E in entertainment?
Absolutely. So that's my answer to you.
Right.
But I appreciate that.
Right.
But you know what? For a little bitty guy.
Little bitty? You?
A comparison to the home of the Giants.
Fair enough.
In WWE.
Fair enough.
When I went there in '86, I brought a whole lot to the table.
For sure.
That offered Vince McMahon. That blew Vince McMahon's mind. When our last conversation, Vince asked me, he said, KOKO, is there anything else you'd like to add to your gimmick?
Frankie?
And I said, you know what, Vince? I said, my wife is going to kill me. And I went in my shirt pocket and I flipped out this Polaroid picture. And I showed it to Vince. He said, you want to carry a bird around?
Wow.
And I said, yes.
Wow.
I said, Vince, this here is going to help me to get over. This here is going to help me to get up there, stay up there with Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, Ronnie Piper, all the big stars.
This was your idea, not Vince's.
It was my idea.
And Vince immediately went with it.
Yes, he did.
Sweet.
Yes, he did.
Sweet.
He bought the whole package of the Birdman KOKO B. Ware.
Mm-hmm. How accommodating was Frankie taking him from home and bringing him on the road?
I didn't have. Let's go back.
Okay.
I didn't have a bird.
Fill us in.
I showed him the picture.
Okay.
And then Vince said, you know what? I will buy you the bird.
Vince purchased Frankie for you?
Yes. Wow. And then he said, you can pay me later or whatever.
Pay me later. Okay.
But he never did,
What was it like developing a relationship? What previous pets did you have? Did you ever have a parrot before?
No.
So what was this like? Okay, here's my new talent enhancement that's going to help put me over.
Well, see, I was the Birdman already because I had this parrot.
Right.
I had this parrot on my tights.
Okay.
And that's what I wanted in the small league. Mm-hmm. I wanted that parrot. I was wanting to take it in Mid-South Wrestling under the promoter Bill Watts.
In the small league during the territory days.
And I wanted to take this, but I never got that. I never got that opportunity to talk to Bill about it.
Okay, fair enough.
And then when I got invited,
Vince jumped on it.
And when I got invited to come up and talk to Vince,
wow.
Well, you know what?
Wow.
That's all that. It opened a can of worms. I mean, just boom. It went out there. It went crazy.
Frankie is basically family to you, obviously.
Yeah.
You must have very deep feelings for Frankie.
I love Frankie. Yeah,
Did you,
what I'm
did
saying.
you get another bird? You told the story of his
Yeah,
very tragic demise.
right.
I mean, you replaced. Well, there's no such thing, but you had another bird after that's still with you.
Yeah, I got another bird. Frankie died in my house fire and stuff.
Right.
And
right. The Frankie we all
knew and
sure.
stuff. And but I got Frankie Jr. is just another carbon copy of Frankie.
Right.
And just as intelligent as Frankie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's already trained. He goes inside his cage or whatever. He comes out, whatever. I mean, that was my whole gimmick.
Sure.
And nobody gave it to me. What I'm saying.
Right.
Vince did not give it to me. Mid-South Wrestling did not give it to me. World Class Wrestling didn't give it to me. Mm-hmm. Nobody gave me that gimmick.
You gave it to yourself, and then Vince McMahon.
But the power of God
put
it in my brain, in my mind.
So last time you were on the show, right after you came on, Butch Reed came on afterwards. You had that long run in the Mid-South with Butch Reed. You kind of two were together.
The great Butch Reed.
For a long time.
Sure.
We lost Butch.
Right.
Can you tell us some stories about Butch at all?
Butch, he was just a good character. If you know Butch, he always loved to crack jokes and stuff like that. He loved to drink and stuff like that. I mean, and he's so easy to really get him upset, and because it don't take much to get him going. I mean, he'll fight in a minute. I mean, you talking about somebody a fight, you kind of just say the wrong thing, that's on.
Right.
But other than that, he's a sweetheart.
You speak to him in later days, towards the end of his life, were you guys still?
You know what? No, we did not, because I didn't know. I saw him like every 6 months, just sometime 8 months. And he was getting involved with him and his son. They was together, and of course every time we ran into each other, it was just like a family reunion. We loved each other, loved on each other, and stuff like that. And then at the end of the night, we all got to depart.
Underrated, Hacksaw Butch Reed. What say KOKO? Underrated.
Underrated?
Yeah, a little bit. Historically, not enough love, or what do you think?
He didn't get the big push that he should have gotten.
World champion material?
I believe so.
Okay.
To be honest with you.
He was close, man. I'm with you on that.
Hold on. Natural Butch Reed, part of Doom. I'm not so sure he didn't have such a great career. He had a pretty good career.
I'm not
talking
saying
about,
that, world champion.
Big football player, stuff like that.
Yeah,
and then,
badass.
And then
Yep.
if Bill Watts can make you in Mid-South like he did JYD and made Butch a big name, why the other guys can't
Bill
fall
Watts,
in line?
thumbs up or thumbs down? What say KOKO?
On stuff like that, Bill Watts is thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
But something Bill Watts is down.
Right.
Okay.
Just like everybody, right?
More good than bad, Bill Watts?
Yeah, he was more good.
Okay, that works.
So look, as we get older, we were talking this before, we all suffer loss, right? You have your family and wrestling and everything else, but you lost your first wife to cancer, right?
Right.
Can you tell us a little story about that? Your relationship with your first wife? How did that go? Being around someone who's terminally ill.
We was married 1983, and in a little old town of Collierville, Tennessee.
Okay.
And she was the first black queen on the football field. That they crowned.
Okay.
Very beautiful woman. I mean, everybody spoke highly of her, and we had 2 lovely boys on our own, and we adopted a little girl. And one day, this is on a Saturday. One day we were just talking, having fun, out shopping or whatever. And we got back in the car. She said, "Huh?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "I want you to feel up on my breast here." And I'm going, "Okay, what's going on?" She said, "No, just feel." And I felt up under her breast, and this great big knot was hard. I'm talking about hard. And I'm going, "Oh my God." And I said, "Honey, we have got to get to the doctor quick." And this was on a Saturday. Monday morning come, we going to the doctor. She said, I've just been going along with it. I mean, it ain't been bothering me or nothing like that. I've been driving, going back. She was kind of like a school teacher and all that stuff. And I said, "No, we going to the doctor." That Monday, we got into the doctor. The doctor, they checked her out. They did what they call that CAT scan, and found out it's a tumor. And so the doctor said, she's at a stage 3. And I might can heal her. He said, I might could fix it. He said something that I'm just trying to get it right. He just said, we're a little late, but we're not that late to help her out. So I said, "Oh, okay." He said, "I can't promise you anything." He said, "But this thing's got to be taken care of right away." So he started working on her and started giving her treatments, and he said, "We're gonna have to shave our hair." I said, "Because it's cancer." He said, "This beautiful hair." I said, "Doc, she's got beautiful hair. You got to shave it." He said, "Either you want to shave it." He said, "She's gonna lose her hair once we start giving her the radiation and chemo." And I said, "Oh man." So she lasted for 6 months. And then we went back to the doctor. That night, she must have got up 20 times, or 30 times, 40 times out of the bed. "Oh, I got to go to the bathroom. I got to go." And she can't go. She can't use the bathroom. And then she'll jump out of the bed again. "I got to go. I got to go. I got to go." And I said, "We're going back to the doctor and see what's wrong with you." So I took her back to the cancer doctor. And the doctor took another CAT scan on her. He said, "Mr. Ware, you got to check your wife in the hospital." Said she got to go in the hospital right now. Said her intestines is all twisted. I mean, it's twisted and got the medicine she been taking. It's done clogged up her intestine, and can't nothing come by there and bypass. Because I went to Walmart and I bought everything it took to get her system clean, and she still wasn't right. And then he said, "Look at here. See here how your intestines are." The medicine says she's not drinking enough water or something, because it ain't flushing it back through. Now all this medicine and food is backing up. And said, "Mr. Ware, if we don't get this fixed," said, "if it started coming out of her mouth, it's over. If her past started coming out of her mouth, and it's over." So when we put her in the hospital for 3 weeks, she was gone at 4th week. So my saying is, I took her to that clinic, took her straight to the hospital. She never made it back home to her family to tell her kids goodbye.
Did that test your love of God?
But you know what? God don't make no mistakes. God don't make no mistakes. We come in this world with nothing, we going out with nothing. And we all remember we got to leave this world. I don't care how much money you have or whatever, we still got to leave this world. You're going out with nothing.
Not to take a turn, but how do you feel about Vince taking care of former wrestlers in that case, considering their health and well-being? Is Vince responsible for wrestlers' well-being in the long run after their careers are over?
Well, he had his picks. That's just the mark of the devil. You could take care of whoever you want to, you know. But when God says time to go, Vince McMahon got to step back. Vince McMahon can't stop God. He can't stop him. Can't nobody stop him, because he said he's coming after you, he's coming after me, he's coming after everybody when it's time. So he giving us a time right now to get on the good foot, because we got to answer all the bad things and all the good things that we have done in our life. Make it right.
On that note, Jeff, let's take a commercial break. We'll be right back.
What's up? Good, great. How you doing, all right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Six 675-2349. That's 646-675-2349. For all your automotive needs, Nitro's Garage, ask for Jack. That's right, folks, Canine Corral. For all your dog daycare and overnight care, call 631-549-1544. That's 631-549-1544.
The Pharaoh scene only here at Indie Music TV, where we have Hall of Famer, one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, Mr. KOKO B. WARE in studio. So, KOKO, just to lighten up the moment, by the way, thank you for sharing that story. I think it's important for people to hear. And I want to bring something to you about Randy Savage, right? You know, you got your push. They put you over some of the greatest wrestlers of all time, Harley Race, Nikolai Volkov. But at some point, you had to wrestle Savage for the Intercontinental title. Was Savage, when you got that chance to wrestle Savage, was it scripted like all the other wrestlers said, or was he said, okay, let's just do our thing? Did he write out a script and tell you move for move what needed to be done?
Well, that's the way Randy was programmed. I mean, he was programmed with him and Steamboat did WrestleMania 3. I mean, Randy he didn't believe in no mistakes in the ring or whatever. That's where his talent was. Randy was really a hard worker.
No one else was doing this though at the time.
Not as much as Randy.
Okay.
What I'm saying, there was guys that they knew the finish, they knew some spots, but Randy would just go from one step at a time. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. All the way, take it home.
You
Boom.
have to raise your level working with Randy Savage, considering his preparation, or?
Oh yeah, I mean, what I'm saying, Randy would help you. All the top guys would help you. Greg Valentine,
Greg the Hammer,
Tito Santana,
Arriba.
Don Morocco, all of those guys, Bob Orton Jr. You know, you got a chance to work with them, man. Hey, you could tell the difference from the superstars and the wannabes.
Right.
You know, I mean, it just night and day.
I want to bring up James Harris Kamala. From what I understand, you actually I don't know if this is true. I think I read this, that you actually bought him a motorized wheelchair. Is that factual?
Yes, I sure did.
So Kamala or James, right? And again, we're just fans, so you read all these things. You don't know what the truth is, what isn't the truth, but always the rumor is that James was taken advantage of throughout the entire industry. Financially.
Well, James thought in somewhat, because I didn't see all of James' checks, number one. Mm-hmm. And I saw one or two of his checks, because James and I was real close together. He would talk to me when he wouldn't talk to nobody else. But James he just had this theory in his mind that they was always gonna mess over. And he watched for that. And what a great talent that he got discovered through Jerry the King Lawler in Memphis, Tennessee. That night at the Mid-South Coliseum, one night, James Kamala was just coming down just to say hello to the boys. And Jerry Lawler stopped him kind of in the hallway, said, "Go back home, just go home, turn around and go back." Told Kamala's going like, at the time he was Sugar Bear Harris. He said, "What do you mean?" "No, I need you to go back home. I just turn around, I don't want nobody to see you, go back home." He said, "I'll call you, I got something for you." And that's what it was, that Kamala's gimmick. That they shot this video behind Jerry Jarrett's house, because he had an all wooded area back there. And it looked like it was over in Africa. And it looked the part. And when when Lawler painted that moon on his belly and stars
this was
on
in New Jersey they filmed this? Where was this?
This was in Tennessee, dude.
In Tennessee?
Tennessee, yeah.
It looked like, well, yeah,
and,
okay.
And here it is.
I bought it.
Yeah. And here it is, Uganda with the big spear and all that stuff with the hat and all that. And James, it just fit his whole gimmick. He did it perfectly. And he made us. James made him some money, but he felt like he was being mistreated. And I don't know. See, this is the way I'm gonna say this, and I'm being straight on this part.
Sure.
I don't know how James even knew what his opponent made.
Meaning Hogan, but okay.
Like Hogan.
Right.
Okay. Mm-hmm. You know, like I say, I don't like to call names. See,
that's fine. I will, but go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hogan.
Well, like Hogan or anybody else.
Okay. Fair enough.
I don't, what
enough.
I'm saying. But all he got to do is hear somebody mention, then he gets really offended if his check is low.
Right. Right.
And he'll take it and run with it.
Right. Right.
But
did you witness him being excessive with his partying or anything? Because, I mean, the way it seems to go down is that Kamala didn't manage his money. Is that fair? Or, I mean, not to pin you in a corner, but is that fair?
well, I guess he managed it pretty good. I mean, he's got a home down there now, and his wife is living on.
Right. Right.
And and if you're lucky enough in this wrestling business to pay for a home, I think you're doing darn good. If your
Did
home,
Vince excel his character or repel his character? I feel that he enhanced his character. At the end of the day, Vince McMahon. Do you feel that Vince McMahon did a good job with Kamala? I thought he did.
You know what? Like I said, I don't know because I never did. I saw maybe one of James' checks, and
No, I'm just saying as far as his wrestling persona.
Yeah, but what I'm saying though,
he put him over.
But James, they put him over and all that stuff.
Right.
But James was like this. James would feel like if he working a program with Hogan or Randy or anybody, and the program is getting ready to die off, James would go home. And Vince have to call him. Say, James,
where you going?
Where you at?
Okay.
Well, I thought y'all was finished with me.
Okay.
Because nobody said nothing. After he done put Hogan over, he just thought, well, he's going down. They're not going to do nothing with me.
Was there a higher ceiling for Kamala? Because that seems to be what a lot of people bitch about. Oh, he got underpaid, and maybe he should have been given. Was he going to be a world champion or something? Did I miss something?
Well, for about it, he didn't care nothing about that. He just cared about being fair with the money.
Okay.
Here it is, and that's where I come in at. Here it is. You pay this guy, and y'all work the same match. You pay this guy $25,000, and pay me $10. Is that fair? And we both are out there working in the same match.
What about Hogan's star power? Does that count for anything?
Well, the Hogan star power, but I'm gonna say, you know what? I'm gonna say all of us was star power.
Okay.
Because the wrestling fans, they didn't come just see that one match.
Right. Right.
If they did, it would have been a Hogan and Andre at WrestleMania.
Right.
Well, what about all the other matches?
Yeah. Did Hogan enhance the wallet, though? When you were working on a card with Hogan, you clearly made more money. I mean, any thoughts on, Hogan's drawing power? I mean, he has to get the tip of a cap somewhere along the line, right? I mean, he's Hulk Hogan.
Well, you know what? He was Hulk Hogan because they made him. They could push who they want to push.
True.
True.
So
while James was in there working with Hulk Hogan on main event, he's expecting to make him about the same kind of money. Or he was think he was kind of upset when he wrestled against Jake, and Jake made more money. But that was him. But like I say, for as his wrestling checks, I can't say that James wasn't treated fairly. I can't say that.
But you did say it looks like he was well taken care of. He had a house and his wife lived
Well,
there.
I said that. He did buy a house.
Sure.
And throw about it, though. But the thing of it is, I don't know nothing about James's checks.
Gotcha.
right.
Before the Pharaoh's final question, Coco, I want to thank you again for being on the show. You are a legend and a great human being, and we're wishing you the best tomorrow at the WrestleCon. I'm sure fans are going to be, it's going to be nonstop for you. But I do want to share one thing. A fan out there said, M. Morris says, thank you for sharing your story about your beautiful wife. I myself have lost my wife to cancer. Your story helps heal all people who have experienced loss in their life. God bless you, old friend.
Thank you. God bless him.
All right, Pharaoh's final question. Don't know what he's going to ask you, and it's not scripted, so good luck, Mr. Coco Beware.
Oy. Okay. Well, Vince likes to make sure that the E in WWE entertainment is completely hammered home. I consider you one of the forefathers of the entertainment aspect of professional wrestling. Name for me Coco B. Ware's Mount Rushmore of entertaining wrestlers. Not necessarily the best guy in the ring, not the Bret Harts, not the Kurt Angles or whatever. Name me your version of the 4 greatest, since you were a hell of an entertainer, the 4 greatest pro wrestling entertainers ever. Coco, Mount Rushmore.
Well, I could say myself. I could say
enough.
Ric Flair.
Okay.
Ric Flair was great.
Okay. No argument.
I could say back in the day, Adrian Street.
Adrian Street.
Wow. Wow, look at that.
Wow.
I'm a little surprised at that one.
Nice. Okay.
He was a showmanship
Right.
in the ring,
All right.
and it could work his butt off.
Wow. Fair enough.
You know.
Who else you got?
And I could say Tito Santana was a good wrestler.
Damn.
But he wanted that showmanship type.
Well, that's what we're after.
Yeah, I
We're
know.
after that.
But he was a good wrestler. But I'm trying to think who else did.
Well, if Tito did it for you, then
Right. I'm just trying to think and be honest with you. Man,
the E in entertainment, Coco.
I love Cowboy Orton.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
and Bob could entertain and stuff like that. I mean, and he could get down to business and all that stuff. I mean, you just and George Steele, the Animal Steele.
All right.
He was a good entertainer.
Would you buy an action figure doll of George Steele? Just curious.
Mine. Mine.
What if you had to glue the hair on? Would you do that? Like, accessories included, you put the hair on his back and stuff. Would you do that?
For George.
See, there you go. It would have sold.
With that, we want to thank you for joining us, Coco. Enjoy your Saturday once
Mine.
again. Mine. With the green tie.
Pretty. Elizabeth Pretty.
All right, send us out, Farrell.
You've been watching Monty and the Pharaoh. Thank you very much, Hall of Famer, Coco B. Ware. And until, what's the next show in like 2 seconds?
In about 10 minutes, we've got Jose Luis Rivera.
You've been watching Monty and the Pharaoh. And until about a few seconds from now, later.
Mine.
Mine. Green tongue.